The United States of America is the most powerful nation in the history of our species, and our military is the most technologically advanced on the planet. So why can't we make a halfway decent red dot? All the best red dots are made by Aimpoint in Sweden, and even they're getting their lunch eaten by Holosun. If you watch this channel, statistically speaking, you are American, and being able to buy American products probably makes you happier than funding another John Cena public apology tour. The Steiner DRS1X is an American-made red dot sight from a company based in Germany, owned by a different company based in Italy. The first thing that should jump out at you is that the DRS1X is absolutely massive. It's a standard reflector-style red dot sight in a package bigger and heavier than an equivalent EOTech. The DRS1X has a non-QD mount, it sits at absolute co-witness height, and it has night vision settings, which makes it very similar in features to an EOTech EXPS3. But larger and over an ounce heavier. DRS, by the way, is an acronym literally so cringe I refuse to explain it to you. The optic is controlled by 3 buttons on the top, the up and down buttons for adjusting brightness, and the power button. Holding the power button turns it off or on, tapping the power button cycles between 3 reticle modes. The DRS1X has the Steiner C2 reticle. Mode 1 is a 2 MOA dot only. Mode 2 adds horizontal lines, and Mode 3 adds a much larger dot below the center dot. I like the idea behind the reticle, though I'm not sure I'd ever be able to really take full use of it. With the full reticle on, you can use it like a big crosshair. Place the vaguely T-shaped arrangement of lights on the bad guy and pull the trigger. Yes, Mabs, there are 4 lights. If you're at close range and need to take a precise shot, you can use the large lower dot as a quick and dirty way to correct for height over bore. The DRS1X is powered by a pair of AA batteries, like a 20-year-old EOTech. The batteries are loaded from the front into separate compartments, and the optic can actually run on only a single battery with no decrease in performance other than battery life. So what kind of battery life should we expect from the DRS1X? Well, it's a reflector red dot, so it should be better than a true holographic. The DRS1X is advertised as having a tragically short 2,000-hour battery life. Granted, that's with the full C2 reticle engaged. If you're using it with the dot only, the manual says you can expect 2,800 hours. This kind of battery life would be bad on any red dot, but it's especially disappointing because the DRS just doesn't get very bright.
That's at full brightness. Pretty sure, yeah. That doesn't seem very bright to me, and it's not bright outside right now.
I thought the batteries were dying, so I swapped in a pair of fresh lithium AA's. Nope, that wasn't it. This thing is just really dim.
For comparison, here's an EOTech EXPS3 at maximum brightness. It's so bright that if I hold my face up to it, it's like uncomfortable. This is the level I want the EOTech at right now, well below maximum. And here's the DRS at full.
It's significantly dimmer than an Aimpoint, or any old Holosun, or an EOTech. It may feel plenty bright when you point it at the wall of your bedroom, but when used in conjunction with a weapon light, the red dot is easily overwhelmed by the splashback against nearby walls. Outdoors, on a bright day, or in a bright desert, or with snow on the ground, it would cause the same problem. What's more, the DRS1X has tons of artifacting at maximum brightness. Regardless of reticle setting, you'll be able to see the other parts of the reticle shadowed in your sight picture. That's how reflector sights generally work. If there's enough light banging around in the optics tube, some of it will reflect off the red dot emitter. It makes your sight picture into a chaotic fractal mess at maximum brightness, or if you have low-angle sunlight coming towards you. The DRS1X has an auto shutoff at 13 hours. The reasoning behind these super long auto shutoff timers is that if you're in a tactical situation, 13 hours is so long that you are virtually guaranteed to adjust brightness during that time, which resets the timer. The auto shutoff with no shake awake feature is also frustratingly out of date. I want to be able to grab my gun and shoot with it immediately, whether we're talking hunting, home defense, or tactical use. How that always ready functionality is implemented, I'm not picky about. Holosun and SIG-Dots use an auto shutoff and shake awake feature that works extremely well. The Trijicon MRO and Aimpoints let you turn them on and leave them on forever, and you just eat the difference in battery life and replace the cells every 2 years instead of every 4 years. Obviously, with a battery life of only 2,000 hours, they can't let you do that with the Steiner. Maybe the DRS1X can redeem itself under night vision. It does have a big objective window with good light transmission, though obviously not on the level of an EOTech. The DRS1X has a bit of distortion around the edges, and since it's a red dot, it does have a little tint to the glass. EOTechs don't have those problems, which is why they look like a floating reticle in space under night vision. The DRS1X only has 7 modes, 3 night and 4 day modes. The night modes are spaced well to account for different levels of ambient light, and I like that you don't have to push the button 600,000 times to meaningfully adjust brightness like you would on an EOTech. So is the Steiner DRS1X the best American-made red dot? Unfortunately, it might be. The Trigicon MRO fails at several of the fundamental things a red dot is supposed to do. The loopholed LCO got discontinued, but that's probably okay, because it had a battery life of 96 fucking hours. The newest EOTech is still like 10 years old at this point, and holographic sights aren't really the same as red dots, if that matters to you. But the DRS1X basically has all the downsides of an EOTech with none of the upsides. It's bigger and heavier than an XPS3, with the same pathetic battery life and antiquated feature set. But it's not as clear as an EOTech, not as bright as an EOTech, and doesn't perform as well under night vision as an EOTech. Unless your eyes just refuse to work with a holographic reticle, get an EOTech. Or take off the red, white, and blue tinted sunglasses for a second and do an honest appraisal of the red dot market. Trying not to buy things from China, specifically, is a stupid game for dumb children. Trying to support American businesses and jobs is commendable, just so long as it doesn't blind you to the reality that many American products are overpriced and not very good. If they want your business badly enough, rest assured that they will do what it takes to earn it. They just don't want it that bad. Either you are paying for it, or your taxes are paying for it. Thanks for watching. If you really like this channel, you can support me on Subscribestar. There's a link in the video description. I am an American-based content creator, and as far as I know, my channel isn't owned by Beretta. If you give me money, I will spend it on beer made in the United States, or at the very least, Canada. See you next time.